Good morning, students. Here in this video, we'll learn how to start up with the software. This is always going to be empty. When you open the software, you will have such a window. In this one, there are too many options, but for us, uh, drawing is important. So click on the drawing. Once you click, a window will open. And if you are opening the software for the first time, you will get too many notifications in this one. You just close or click OK on all notifications, and there will be text below these commands. Whatever the icon below that one, there will be a text display. Say for example, if you go to the tools in the options and in the helpers, there is an option called text on buttons. If I click here, so initially when you open the software, so this is how exactly it looks. So for beginners, this is fine. You can have the text, but what will happen here is when you have a text here, so the below icons will not be displayed, and the displayed area will be small. For that one, the recommendation is you go to the tools, go to the options, go to the helpers, turn off this text on buttons. Then you can see all the icons. Suppose if you are not able to find any icon in that one, you just move the cursor. Don't click it. Just move the cursor and place the cursor on that icon. It will show what it is. Say for example, now my cursor is on uh, line, so it just create a line. So if I come down curve, if I come down arc, like that. So what that icon does, it will show. For example, if I have this one, and if there is a right down arrow, you can see here, 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 and here it is not there, here. So that means it will show too many options in that. Say for example, here, if you go down, you can see the line and point both are in the same this one. When I click on a point, the point is highlighted. When I click on the line, so the line will be highlighted like that. So in the curve, I will be having curve and convert to the curve. Like that, in the arc, I will be having too many options to draw the arc like that. So whenever we have an icon with a down arrow, okay, so that means there are options in that one. You need to look for that one if it is required. Okay, and you can drag and place these uh, toolbars anywhere, but if you double click here, it will come and occupy the regular uh, position which is allotted for that command. Okay, and say for example, if you are not finding any of the commands here, say for example, this toolbar is not visible to you. Okay, like this, somewhere maybe by mistake you have closed that one. So move the cursor to the top here, okay, blank area, right click here, and you can see here main, manage, main, drawing views, drawing, all those things. If it is in ticked form, it is available. If it is unchecked one, so it is not available. You click here, so the things will appear here. You click here, the things will appear here. And double click on this one, double click on this one. So okay, it will occupy the things. Now here again we have a text button here which is not visible. Okay, whenever it is required, you can just drag and place it here. Okay, so you will get the option. Okay, so you can see drawing, you can see drawing views, you can see like a main toolbar, you can see relationship toolbar, you can see a ribbon toolbar, and you can see a main toolbar here. Okay, where we have a file, edit, view, insert, format, tools, inspect, application, all those things. Okay, so whenever it is required, so we'll go one by one. Now for a time being, you just remember, if the toolbars are not available, you need to go to the top and right click, and you can get it one thing. And you switch off the text by going to the options, then helpers, then text on buttons. Okay, so this is the preliminary things which are required for a time being now. Okay, so the second thing is now, so now you can see there is a border here and there is a area which is displayed here. Okay, so now we need to know, like when it comes to the drawing, we have a different sizes of a drawing sheet, like a A1, A2, A3, A4, like that and all. Okay, so we need to see like which drawing sheet is displayed here. Okay, so in order to know, like, you cannot go and measure that one. So you can just go here on the sheet 1 at the bottom, double click on this one. So we'll get a one window here. Okay. So we have a three options here: size, name, and a background. So you go to the background now. Okay. So here in the down arrow, you can see there are four options which are available here: A1, A2, A3, and A4. So now when I click here, so it is A2. That means the area which is displayed here is a A2. Okay. But normally the one which we are going to take the printout in the printer, it's a A4 sheet. That means we need to do or we need to select a A4 sheet here. Okay. And you need to have a OK, cancel, save default, and a help. There are four options here. Say for example, I will go with it OK. Okay, now you can see the size of that one is decreased. Okay, A2 to the A4. Now I want to fit this one to the screen now. Okay, see here, if I move the cursor, okay, so here in this toolbar, that is the main toolbar. Okay, so I have an option called fit to the screen. Fit. Okay, click on that one. It will get fit to the screen. I hope it is clear. Okay, so in order to know the sheet which is displayed, okay, double click on the sheet one. You go to the background. Now you can see it is A4. Earlier it was A2, and I just clicked on the OK. Now say for example I want to do one more problem. Okay, I will right click here, and there are too many options here: insert, delete, record, rename, sheet setup. Okay, so now let me just insert one more sheet. Now can you see here the sheet is too big. Okay, that means whatever the sheet setup I did here in the sheet one, it applied only to the sheet one. It didn't apply for the next one, the one which you are going to insert. So we used only just OK when it came to the background sheet. Now let me just check out A4. I will click on a save default, then OK. Okay, now you can see it is A4. Now if I go and click the inserter, so again I will get a one more A4 sheet only. That is the one default setting we did. Okay, so the number of sheets which I'm going to insert in this file will be only the A4 now. Okay, so if you click OK, the changes will apply only to the current sheet. And if I click save default and OK, the number of sheets which I'm going to insert in this file, so all the files, all the sheets will be of A4. So that's the main difference you should know. So let me just delete these and keep it this one. Okay. Now after this one, sheet setup. Okay, very important. A4 save default, then OK. Now let me just rename. Rename means whenever we are going to solve a n number of problems here, so I want to check like which and all the problems I have done. Okay, so I need not go to each and every sheet to check up like which problem I have done and all. So here you can say like P slash, it's a one problem number one. Say it is on a point. So you can say okay, click OK. Now you can see P1 and it's on the point. Like that you can just insert one more and you can just rename this is a problem number 2 on a points like that. Okay, so that is what is rename means. Okay, insert to get a one more sheet, delete the current sheet, recorder not required for us, rename, you are going to change the name to the sheet one to the others, and sheet setup very important. So initially you are supposed to do like I want only the A4 sheet display area. Okay, so that you are supposed to do here. Now you can see here we have only a sheet 1. Okay, that I have renamed it as a point problem number 1 points. So this sheet we are going to call as a working sheet or a active sheet. So how to check that one? You can go your view. Now you can see the working sheet is in a ticket form. Okay, now if I click on a background sheet, now you can see there are four options which are going to appear along with the uh, existing sheet. Okay, you can see A4, A3, A2. The sheet setup what we have done is for A4. Let me select A4 here. Okay, so again it shrinks fit to the screen now. Okay, now say for example, if I go back to the sheet 1, the earlier one, if I select anything here, I will not be able to select any of the lines. Okay, if I press Control A, so nothing will get selected. But if I come back to the A4, if I press Control A, you can see everything gets selected here. Okay, means I can change the things in the background sheet. Okay, so I will say Control A and delete. Now you go back to the sheet 1. Now see, the changes which I did it in the A4 will appear on the sheet 1. Okay, so for example, I'm going to draw a line here. Okay, in the background sheet, you can see in the background sheet. Okay, I will come to the point 1. Now that line will be available in the point sheet number 1. I will not be able to select anything in this one. Okay, it means the changes which are done in the background sheet will remain permanent in the sheet 1. Okay, that means the common things which we are going to have it in each and every sheet, those things we are going to retain in the background sheet. Say for example, my name or USA number or a chapter name or a faculty signature. So all these things are we are going to retain the background sheets. So once all those things are done, you go back to the view and switch off the background sheet. So wherever you are solving the problem, let's have only the working sheet or the active sheet. So that will not lead to too many problems. I hope it is clear, right? So the things which you need to have a permanent in each and every sheet, those things you can go to the view and you can do it on the background sheet. Okay. So the problem solution and all, we are going to do it on the working sheet. Okay. So those are the very basic things which we need in order to do some uh, initial setup in order to start the problem. Okay. So one this one is done. So let's take up a direct one problem. Okay. I'm going to show how to draw the problem itself. So there's a one problem. There's a problem number one where he says there are 4 points. So it should be drawn on the XY line. Okay, keeping a convenient distance, and you are supposed to name the quadrants here. Okay. So initially, if we have solved already the problems in the uh, using the grid sheets and all, so then we will be knowing like first thing is we need to have the XY line. So XY line. So here we have a line command. Click on the line command. You can just see like when you click on the line command, so these are the properties of the line which are going to appear here. So visible, okay, and types of a line, and the thickness of a line, and the length of a line, and the angle of a line. Okay, so we said always the XY line should be of continuous line, and it should be of a 0.13. Okay, we don't know the length. Okay, so angle always it should be a 180 or a 0 because it's a horizontal. I will start from somewhere here. See, now you can see the line will not move here. Why? Because we have restricted that one with the 0 degree. Say for example, I will just delete this one. Okay, now you can see the cursor can be moved up and down. But if I again enter a 0 and enter, so that line will not move anywhere. Okay, so to draw that XY line, you just extend this one till to the end, and to end this command, either you can right click or press escape. Okay, let me just right click, it will end the command. So now let's say like we need to do the naming for this one. So now when I select the text one, okay, so you can see the properties with respect to the text will be available here. So one is a normal one. Okay, and here you can change the font style. Okay, so let me go with the Times New Roman, and here we are going to change the font size. Let me just take up some 8 millimeter, and this let it be 1. Okay, so whether you need a bold, italic, all these things are similar to the word file. And come back here, press here. So caps lock should be on, X and Y we say. Okay, this is the X and Y. So we need to move these things properly near to the XY line. For that one, here in the main toolbar we have an option called zoom area. Go to the zoom area, put a box around that X and right click. So that will be zoomed here, and you can select this one, move to the boundary and drag it upward and place it here. Okay, put to the screen. We'll repeat zoom area, put a box around the Y, right click to end the command, select that one, move to the boundary. When the plus mark comes, you just drag it and fit to the screen. So this is XY. So normally we'll get 1 marks for this one to draw the XY. The thickness of the XY line should be 0.13 always. Okay, so for example, already we have drawn a line, some thickness of the line. Okay, you want to change, you can change. Select this one, go here, change the thickness like this. But for time being, now we need only 0.13. Just keep it like that. Okay, so this one is done. Look for the problem now. what it says, the point A 30 mm above, 35 mm in front. Okay, so let's take a line again, continuous line, 0.13. Okay, when you come near to the XY line, so the line will change to the red color. Click on that one. That means you are starting a point or a line from that point. And here it is in the first quadrant. The first quadrant, we say like the front view will be above XY line, top view will be below XY line. So 30 mm above means it's a front view. So I will enter 30, enter 90, enter. Okay, so right click. So that is what is the front view of this line. Now, when you move, okay, when you have this line, okay, if you keenly observe this one, when I move to the end of that one, so there is a symbol, that a mastic symbol which is going to appear. And if you move down on that one, so there will be a point on element symbol. And I move little bit down, you can see a midpoint symbol. And if you again move down, again you will get a point on a symbol. Then if you move down, it will show the end point. Okay, so you are supposed to select again this end point, and it is how much it is, 35 millimeter, 35, enter, and it is coming down minus 90 degree, enter, and right click. Okay, so now you got a front view, you got a top view. So how to select the dimension now? Okay, how to mark the dimension? So here in this drawing view toolbar, so here if you move, we have a option called smart dimension. Click on that one and click on the line, drag it, click on the line and drag. Okay, so the arrows may look very small, you know, but if you're going to zoom like this, you can see the lines, arrows are properly. You can just zoom properly here, and we need to have a point here. So I said right in the line command there is a down arrow. In that one, click on a point. Okay, again that property toolbar will come. The thickness of the point should be 2 millimeter. Here. Select 2 millimeter and come back and move on this line end point. Click one point here and move on this one. Click one more point here. Okay, don't click here because we want a front view as well as a top view. Now go back to the text command, caps lock off, and this will be our A dash. The dash is left side to the front, sorry, enter, and this is my A. So if you want, you can just write here it's a top view, and here it's a front view. Okay, just for initial stages, you can just write this one and move it. Okay, so this is a point A, and fit to the screen now. Okay, now go back to the text command and write it here. So point A lies in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant you can write. So means, so this is the projection of a point, and this is the answer for that. So you will get one for this and one for this. So you get totally 2 marks here. Okay, so in a very simple way you can just drop the things. Okay, so using the scale, this line command with the properties, and a point command in the properties. And when it comes to the second point, it is above and behind. Above, behind means it will come in the second quadrant, and both the views will come in above the xy line. So whenever it comes to above, both above and both below, that is in the second as well as the fourth quadrant, the first thing you need to see is the smaller dimension. Okay, so the small dimension is a 35 and the bigger one is a 40. Now let's say like I've taken a line, let's check continuous line, and 0.13, and move little bit away from that one. Okay, so let's say 35, enter, 90, enter, the first one. Then it is the next is a 40. 40 means from 35 it is a 5 millimeter. 5, enter, 90. Why? Because both will come above the xy line only. Okay, the first thing is I have the first dimension 35, enter. Okay, next one I have a 40. I cannot go again to the smart dimension in order to go for the 40. So beside to the smart dimension, there is one more dimension method. In that one, you will get a distance between. Click on the distance between. Click on the bottom end and click on the topmost end. It will show 40 millimeter. Okay, so let me just move this. Okay, so let me zoom this one properly just to have a clarity. So I drew a 3590 line, then from there 5 millimeter, and to do the dimension I used one smart dimension for 35 millimeter, and one more dimension beside to that one is the distance between. I clicked on the deadmost, like topmost end and the bottommost end, and it is a 40. Now check it out, which is the front end, which is the top. So 35 above HP is a front view. So I will go here. So this is our B dash. Okay, that's a front view, and this is our B and the top view. Okay, so let me just select both the things a little bit away, and let me change it to 5 millimeter so that it can look a little bit smaller one. So like this we can have. Okay, and very important is go back to the point. Okay, select 2 millimeter and place a point here and here. Okay, so now fit to the screen and copy the same, put it down, and point B lies in second quadrant. How to copy and move is click on the text. When it comes to the boundary, you will get a plus mark. Press Control and press left key and drag. Okay, you will get a copy and move option. You will get a now 4 marks here. 2 plus 2. Okay, so like that you can continue. Now the third question is 40 above and on VP. On VP and above. Above means first and second. V on VP means it comes both in a first and a second quadrant. So now let's take a line first. Line 0.13 continuous line. Let's move a little bit away. On VP, it will come on the XY line and it is 40 millimeter above HP. So 40 enter, 90 enter. Right click. Okay, go to the smart dimension, click on the line, drag it. So take a point 2 millimeter on VP, it will be on the XY line and 40 above. So now go to the text command, zoom this one properly. On VP means it's a top view, so C top view, and above means C dash, and it's a front view. Okay, so move these things a little bit up and change the font size to 5 millimeter and to the screen. Select one more time here and right here point C lies in first and second quadrant. Okay, these things are looking bigger, so we can change the font size here as 5. You can just resize using these points and you can just drop it. Okay, so that's the third quadrant. Now the last one is below and in front, comes in the fourth quadrant. I said right, whenever it comes to the first and second quadrant, you look for the smaller dimension first. It's 30 and 35. First locate it. Take a line 0.13, come down. First is a 30, enter, minus 90, enter, then 5, enter, minus 90, enter, 30 and 35. Now go to the zoom and zoom this one properly. Go to the smart dimension, take the smart dimension for the first one. Next, take the distance between dead end and top dead end and drag 35. Okay, now take a point 2 millimeter, put it at 1 ear. Okay, now check out 35 below. That is 35 below means it is a front view. So let's take it. Yeah, first one is a D dash and it's a front view. Next will be D in the bracket. So top view. Select it once again, drag it near to that one and change the font size to the 5 mm. Okay, fit to the screen. Copy this, move, and point D lies in the fourth quadrant. So that's it. So we get up 8 marks in this one. Okay, a simple, but like whenever you are doing that one, so try to know the commands initially properly. Okay, know the thickness and know how to drop the text size, all those things. So easily you can do that one. Okay, there's a simple one where we say type 1 problem where either we get a front view, top view, or the distance with respect to the VP and the HV. So in normally, whenever you get a confusion, okay, so you just draw, take a line and just draw a plus mark here, okay, and you go on asking yourself. So I am observing from here, okay, so the point is somewhere here, right? The front view will be here and the top view will be here. So this is moved down like that. Okay, so you can take each quadrant and you can just analyze that one in order to understand whether it will come above or below. Okay, so like that you can understand. Thank you.